been raising our kids. Parents should stop playing God.
The internet is actually using the people.
But when you are looking for money to help other people, then it becomes easy.
Don't rush into marriage. I always say this. You rush in, you rush out.
Family is the bedrock of every society and the essence of life.
On Today with John and Helen, we dig deep into family values in every sense of the word.
Join us every Saturday at 9:15 a.m. on PlusTvAfrica, DSTV channel 408.
With you, we play a part in strengthening the values passed from generation to generation.
I had no desire to study law, none whatsoever. I was more inclined to fine arts. My only ambition, I would say, was to become the chief prosecutor. For me, politicians are a bit too playful. That's what I believe. And since '99, we've seen how much investment in social events, in launching some streets that you just started, and the whole day will be law-abiding. We are not law-abiding. So another problem of administration is that people don't follow the rules.
Timeless Conversations, airing every Sunday at 8:30 p.m.
Welcome back. It's still The Breakfast on Plus TV Africa. We close the executive of
a tumor.
That's too much. You know, it really is even encouraging because I mean the what we hear about cancer these days and the havoc it's wreaking.
Attention. It is scary. It's scary on multiple levels, but particularly here because we don't necessarily have access to care. Enter the Close the Care Gap theme of this year. It's also scary here because many people are paying completely out of pocket for treatment, and that can be catastrophic to any family. So it is frightening, but here is the other thing though. There are millions of cancer survivors in the world today, so cancer is survivable. As frightening as it is, it can be treated and it can be survived in many cases. And that's a message that I think is important to put out there. The other thing is when you say that it is rampant in Nigeria and Africa now, what is happening is awareness. I'm not certain that the numbers have changed. I'm not certain that incidence in that the rate at which people are having cancer has truly increased. What I am certain of is that people are now more aware.
Please share your story with us.
Thank you. Yes, you are correct. Everybody keeps saying survivor. I'm going to start with that point because I really question what a survivor is. Those of us that live with cancer, so I'm deemed as someone who lives with cancer. That means that I was diagnosed with breast cancer metastasizing in the brain. I've had 9 tumors removed from my brain. I'm supposed to have breast cancer. I live on chemo every 3 weeks so far for the last 5+ years. In fact, I had chemo yesterday, so I'm even looking very good. I'm very happy with myself. The journey is not a very easy one. So to put it very simply, whatever we say, I have had to go through understanding the value of time, family, the fact that we don't know whether we will cross the line. And for every marker you cross, you actually ask yourself, oh, I've done well, I've gone past that. Because I had to go through chemo, I had gamma knife surgery. I'm expected to have something else in the next few weeks. I don't know what it is yet because we're having the test next week. But living with cancer is living with cancer. And understanding. The first thing I would like people to understand is please stop stigmatizing us and stop making out as if it's not a big deal, and don't make us become diseased. We don't necessarily need the sympathy. We need the love and the support to walk through it, not to be told go left, go right. Everybody tells you what to do, but everybody's not sitting in the chair. And the truth is, sitting in the chair is very different from any oncologist's point of view. It's very different from all the. I think I'm not a medic, so I'm an education person, right? Okay, so let me use my layman English. But I think the way we go the way it is understood is very different from the reality of what we go through, and we have to start questioning a lot because you're told so many things. Your diet. I was told once that, what did I do? Who did I sin? What sin did I? I mean, come on. And when you are listening to that, that's ignorance. Because 1 in 2, and I'm right in that, will get cancer. So if we say for 100,000 people, 2 people will. So why 500,000 will? So why are we going? What must I just add? Consider it. But yes, so I hope I've tried to break it down as simply as I can.
I think I need to look for, this is not me patronizing you here, but I think I will need to look for a word greater than survivor, because for what you have gone through, and you're here smiling, talking to me on TV, I would like to know how you do it. 9 tumors removed in the brain, going for chemo every 3 weeks for the past few years. That's more than heroism. And I'm already inspired. The doctor in the studio was nodding her head when you were speaking. You want to say some things about what she said?
Oh, yeah. So I think the thing that I heard the most is stigmatization. And it's so deep that I remember that when I even wanted to become an oncologist, people would ask me, why would you choose oncology as a specialty? And there was a point at which I ran an entire social media campaign saying not all my patients die. Because that was the thing that people were saying to me, that all your patients are going to die. Why do you want to do oncology? And, for me, it was one of the best decisions I've made. I've met all kinds of people in this journey, right? And like she just said, it is a journey. It's one of the things I always say at the very beginning. It's a journey. And the truth is, nobody who isn't going through it can really understand what it is that each individual. The truth is, everybody who is going through it has a completely different journey, a completely different experience. And an outsider cannot really get it. You know what I mean? So I absolutely agree with what she said.
Okay. And for those who are listening and who may want to know, because we're considering all manner of people who are watching right now. I said listening, sorry. What do they need to do? Is there are there measures to take to prevent, cancer?
Well, it depends. So here is the thing. When we say cancer, we're talking about a group of diseases that have similar characteristics, but it's also a very heterogeneous group. So it's like me saying, what causes disease? Or is there something you can do to prevent disease? The next question they're going to ask me is which one? Because there are over 100 different types of cancer, right? But the most common cancers are breast, prostate, cervix in Nigerian women, in African women, GIT, bowel cancers, and then I would say maybe head and neck cancers. The thing with those ones are there are tests that can be, so breast cancer can be screened for and detected early. And early detection increases survival, okay? The good news with breast cancer is that now, breast cancer has become a very treatable condition. So sometimes I explain to people that try to imagine somebody who has hypertension or who has diabetes. They're going to be living with this for quite some time. They're going to be on treatment with it for the rest of their life. So that's where we are. So it can be screened for and detected early, and that increases the chances of you being able to eradicate and defeat it, or even live with it for longer. Prostate cancer can be screened for. Again, there are guidelines for this screening. So depending on what your race is, what part of the world you live in, I tell African men to start prostate cancer screening at the age of 40. Okay, yes. Why did you raise your eyes at that? Same thing with colon cancer. It can be screened for. Cervical cancer can be prevented through HPV vaccination, through doing a pap test. It can be detected early and removed through a cone biopsy. So the truth is we have gotten to a point in the world where no woman ever needs to have cervical cancer again. And those are the most common cancers that you will find in our environment. You may not be able to prevent all cancer, but the most common ones can many times be prevented or screened for.
All right. So early detection is very important.
Very important.
Okay. I want to come back to Denise. Denise, you've been through quite a great experience here, or a very difficult time, and you're still standing. From my observation, with friends and family that have gone through this, there are two groups of people involved. The family member or the friend who is going through treatment, and the family members or friends or support group themselves. Can you share some tips with those who are watching who may have a similar experience and maybe going through a difficult time, who need to draw strength, and also some advice from you? Can you share tips on how to go through such a process, a period, and experience in life successfully?
Yes, thank you. That's very interesting, because I'm none of the above. I am actually patient. Okay, so let's look at it from what I have and what I felt and how I felt. So when I was diagnosed, one of the first things, I didn't shut myself out. So I would say don't shut the doors. And one of the biggest mistakes are the fact that we think that it's not, we're going to denial. So I'm going to try and put the terms in basic terms. You go through denial, no, that's not what's wrong with me. And knowing that cancer is an everyday illness. I see it as an everyday illness from the layman perspective, in the sense that it is assumed that cancer is very complicated, but a headache can lead to cancer, and you would have a headache and not even notice, which is what happened to me. A headache led to my secondary, so that's not my primary disease. The primary disease is breast cancer, but it was a headache that I was used to diagnose it. And so when I'm going to talk to people on what they need to understand, is family needs to support and hear the person going through it, not dictate what you think the person is going through, or what they need, or how they're going to go through it, because you don't understand the body of the person that is going through it. And so that pain is not, taking chemo is very painful. The side effects of the drugs have different effects on different people. I won't sleep now for some time, and then I will shut down, and the body starts to shut down and has to repair itself. That's the process. But I don't want you to say, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. No. We'd like you to say, what would you like me to do? Not do this, because you can't tell me whether I need paracetamol or whether I need cocodamol. You don't know that. I'm the one that knows. I'm the one that's sitting on that chair. Diarrhea is one of the biggest illness side effects of chemo, for instance. And just helping people to work through their diet, because we lose our appetite. We don't want to eat. And then to be told, oh, you have to eat vegetables, or you have, no. You please tell people to eat whatever they can just to get through that particular phase, period, because they require the strength for the body to heal. And if you're saying it's, this person says you go this way, or this person says you go that way, no, that is really wrong, because people die because they were following a diet that was not actually necessary. You go from, I was at a point, I had a head almost twice the size. I went through a point, because I've had brain tumors, I was on steroids. My neck was out. It was a very horrible feeling. And my hand, because I've got what you call breast cancer, so I had lymphedema, swell up on one. So a shirt I would wear on one hand doesn't fit the second hand. Doesn't mean, and we don't need you to be telling us what is right, or you're looking fat, or you're looking slim. No. We need to just love us the way we are and walk with us the way we are. A lot of people also run on the religion part of it. I am a very staunch Christian. I believe God to the last. But the truth is, even God will not be happy if you sat there and didn't do anything, because the doctors have a role, your God is playing a role in your life, irrespective of cancer anyway. So balance this thing, because the wisdom and the knowledge and understanding what's going on also comes from God. So why are we separating what is going on with God, or saying God will do this? Are you saying, I've just struggled with that. I had a friend that stayed with me. I had a child who was very young at the time, and I had to come to realities with it. And having to tell your child, your children that, you know what, I'm going to tell you now that these are the plans, and you've got to know. Parents, please talk to your children when you find yourself in this position, because if anything happens, where do they go? Who are they going to? You didn't tell them what to do. You've left them now because you were saying you were praying, rather than saying to them, okay, what are the realities? Because the realities is we can die. And the faster we understand that, the better for all of us. Instead of us fighting, we should say, I will do the best I can to fight this and not let this thing take me down. And so when you say I'm doing pretty good, I'm only doing pretty good because I'm doing what has to be done. I'm facing each step as it goes. I can't see it any other way. But to be honest with you, there are two sides, and I would like people to balance it. There's faith; it plays a very important part, but there's also doing what the doctors say. Just do it. Right. Your family, hear your brothers or sisters or your friends. Please hear the patient, not what you think. That's not good.
All right,
I hope I've answered your question.
Yes. Thanks for helping us understand. I think that's very key, that we listen to you and we understand what exactly it is that you're going through and how we should even also react and go through this with you from this side, and even those around who we have in this part of the world. It's very important. You've talked about faith. I've listened to a number of interviews over the years, of persons who are going through cancer treatment, cancer survivors, talking about the place of belief, believing that they will come out of it, believing that they will make it, that played a role in speeding up their recovery. Is that something that you believe or you've seen to be true?
Okay, if I take it from a different perspective now, I will tell you that our lives are not in our hands as humans anyway. So when you look at a doctor working to care for you, they are working within the tools that they can. A doctor can't tell you will make it. I was diagnosed with, according to statistics, I think an oncologist on the chair will tell you, stage 4 breast cancer. The statistics are not very good. They are not, because I've already got the Mets. So I don't understand their terms, but I call it the Mets. So it's moved. A lot of the time they will tell you when it moves, it can move, and it tends to move, and it tends to move. But in the same way, doing what is right, seeking the help, and remembering that faith, yes, all those central, because for me it's very central. I was able to sit down very quickly and just turn to the world, and I think maybe that's why I got through it. I turned to the world and I decided, you know what? I'm not going to let a human being tell me what to do. I shut everybody out and I went to face my God and say, whatever the decisions are, let me know where I am going, for me, not for anybody else. And gradually I was able to go one step at a time, understand what was going on, understand how to go through it, live my prayer life differently from my journey with on the cancer journey. And at the end of it, I decided, you know what, out of all of this, what have I benefited, or what am I benefiting from this? That's how come I even set up the Cancer Foundation, because living with it made me realize most people don't know anything about this. A lot of us that have cancer do not even want to talk about it because it's stigmatization anyway. So a lot of doors automatically are shut, and you've got to find a purpose, and I found a purpose from it. And I hope people will find a purpose from it, even if it's just to once in a week, if you've gone through the journey, go and hold somebody's hand or go to a cancer center and sit with people. It gives you a fulfillment as a patient, or carer or community or faith workers. But faith, please Don't tell us, God forbid, it's not our portion. It's not there's a go and praying and fasting. Praying and fasting without taking the medicine is a waste of time.
Very interesting. Thank you very much, Denise. Doctor, let's come back to you. This year's theme is closing the care gap, and we're told that it's meant to raise awareness about the vast difference in cancer care and prevention. Appeal from different sections of society, low income, high income, and all that can avail. Tell us some more about the theme and what challenges do people in low income countries like Nigeria face as far as care for cancer patients.
And you will find that what I have found is it's not just about the fact that many people have to pay out. Although my center has a health fund for indigent patients who require financial assistance, but you find that it's also about people even understanding that there's access. There are many people who can be treated who don't even know where to go for treatment, who don't even believe that treatment is available, okay? And I couldn't agree more with what she said about faith. So sometimes, when I'm counseling people, I often tell them, listen, I'm a physician. I am ethically and legally required to give you this prognosis. Now, you decide what to do with it. Hear me, okay, and understand that I need you to have treatment and you must have treatment, but then your faith plays a role in having treatment and helping you even get through. The treatment is tough. But in terms of the care gap, one of the things I'm so proud of my center for is, for example, children get a 50% discount on cost of treatments because, again, cancer treatment costs can be catastrophic to any family. One of the things that we do is that we put a lot of effort into creating patient support programs for people with prostate cancer, people with cervical cancer. We have a brachytherapy program going, which was a massive care gap in Nigeria. For a long time, women with cervical cancer couldn't access brachytherapy. Brachytherapy is internal radiation, which is essential for the cure of cervical cancer. Now imagine a country with 200 million, where cervical cancer is the second most prevalent cancer in women in the country. And then one of the most essential parts of care required for them is simply not available in the whole country. So, for me, the fact that we put a lot of effort into setting up that program, into making sure that it is working, is something that I'm really proud of. And that's the only way we can close the care gap, is by the truth is, if you don't even know what the gap is, how do you close it? Right. It's by identifying what the gap is and then really having that will, that social will, right, to address the gap, to really make sure that you fix it.
Okay, interesting. Denise, let's talk about your foundation, the Commode Cancer Foundation. Tell us a bit about it, and also throw some light on the funding issues as far as cancer treatment is concerned.
Okay, let me do the funding first. One of the things, like actually the doctor has just explained, there's a misjoin in the fact of what is available in Nigeria. There is a cancer fund, but people don't even know it exists. There are lots of NGOs who are supporting. People don't even know how to get it. But then in the same way, there are lots of people who are playing, my view, with their lives by claiming to have a disease they don't have to get quick money. And I hope that they realize it's very dangerous, because when you call a sickness forth, then you will live with it. But if you require funding from we as the NGOs can actually make referrals to people to the government for funding for a patient who we know requires it, but they have to go through all the checks. So we will just tell you, there's a government form, you fill it, it's an online form, and then we can follow up from that perspective to make sure that person, or see if that person did qualify to get funding. But there is. NGOs are funding differently. Globally, we're getting funding. So we don't have enough money, and I don't think any country in the world would say they have enough money to fund cancer care. But they put it as a priority. Unfortunately, Nigeria doesn't see it as a priority, and it's very sad to have to say that, but it is a fact. And if we don't, we have to tell ourselves the truth.
Okay, but quickly about your foundation, because of time, just in 1 or 2 sentences.
Okay, our foundation is predominantly set up on awareness. We don't do treatments. We give you the awareness. We put out television. We have television program every 2 weeks on AIT. We're here today. We have a Zoom activity that we run every month to
So
create awareness.
how can you be reached? For those who are listening and want to go through that process you just talked about, how can you be reached?
We are on Cornwood Cancer Foundation. You can find us on our Instagram. You can send us emails. You can find us on our Facebook page. You can contact us. If you go onto any of the public spaces, you will find our contact number, and we're able to help out the people that need help.
All right.
We can, or navigate you to help.
All right. It's been a really amazing, Denise Ejo, speaking with you this morning. And we are very confident that we'll continue to have more engagements with you going forward as well. Thank you very much for your time. Denise Ejo is the Chief Executive Officer of Cornwood Cancer Foundation. You can Google them and I'll go on Instagram and get in touch with them. Dr. Adedayo Joseph, wish we had more time with you as well. She's a clinical radiation oncologist. I'm sure we'll have you back in the studio sometime soon. Ladies, I'm so lucky to be amongst you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Up next, Ghana versus Nigeria, who will be at the Qatar World Cup. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. Time to talk football right here on The Breakfast. It's a season of football, of course, with the African Nations Cup ongoing in Cameroon. But we cannot forget about the World Cup. Qatar 2022 is around the corner. And as far as the African qualifying process is concerned, the teams are now at the playoff stage. And we've been served an interesting menu. Ghana versus Nigeria, one country only out of the...
Like you said, you know the answer already. The funny thing is that both teams are, trying to get their acts together after, you'd say, a Cup of Nations mishap. Ghana only leaving one state before Nigeria, who were the most promising team. And this is actually fueled the rivalry. The rivalry is always quite exciting. Sometimes it gets very dirty on social media, but these are two great footballing sides. But the thing that they have in common now is that they get to decide on who the coach will be. So the coach would actually determine the sort of players that will be invited and the sort of strategies that will be used. It's a good thing. It's a double header. It's over 2 legs. The first leg on the 26th in Ghana, and then 4 days later, actually 24th and then 28th. So there's an opportunity for both sides to put up a good performance on home soil. But like I said, they need to first have a coach, and then we'll see where they go from there. But Nigeria, obviously, since we started qualifying for the World Cup, but I'm sure that desperation will be there this time to qualify. And what a matchup this will be. Prediction, obviously, I'd say Nigeria because of what we showed in the group stage of the AFCON. It shows that we have the players, we have the technicalities as well, to get past Ghana. But who pilots the team is the big question now.
This is a West African derby, if you want to call it. These are two English-speaking nations in West Africa who have a lot in common. And what they say usually is that derbies don't follow the form guide. Ghana, abysmal at the African Nations Cup, will still reflect in this playoff.
Recent form, of course, you definitely give it to Nigeria. I think so. And that's why I'm very particular about the coach. Besides, remember in interviews with the Super Eagles players, they did say we're playing better under Austin Eguavoen because he gives us a freedom of expression that we didn't have, under Gernot Rohr, who, by the way, we're hearing might just be coach of, Ghana, which is that will be very, very interesting to see the former coach of, Nigeria will be the coach of Ghana. So it depends on that coach. There's Suleiman Taye who just signed for Accra, some days ago. So they still need to structure that team because obviously what happened in Cameroon was a show of shame. It showed that the Ghanaians was not a team. You shouldn't lose to Comoros. So they have more work to be done, the Ghanaians. But like you said, it's a West African derby. And even the least prepared team.
Fresh week of discussions right here on Plus TV Africa. From all of us here at our studios, we want to say thank you very much for your time. Do well to follow us online on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course on YouTube to catch up with our amazing content we have. So simply search for Plus TV Africa. My name is Kofi Bertels. Keep watching.